I'm trying to see if this would be good for my new intro. Let me know what you guys think.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, are you ready? Coming to you live from the heart of the West Side in San Antonio, Texas, Lupe Alcides.
Thank you. Welcome everybody. My name is Lupe Alcides. Soy Chicano de San Antonio, Texas. I just want to say welcome to everybody. Um, this is going to be a very unique and different podcast for me because I am streaming my podcast live. I am streaming on TikTok. I'm streaming on Instagram, and this is the first time I've ever been able to stream on Instagram because it always like screws up for some reason. It says your signal is no good. So I always do it on Facebook, but I've always wanted to do on Instagram instead. So just so you guys know, like I said, I am broadcasting for my podcast. There's a certain topic that I want to talk about. I don't mind if you guys try to interact with me, but like I said, I kind of want to talk about certain things for the podcast. The reason um, the reason my voice sounds the way it does is because I've been arguing and fighting with these people for the past 4 or 5 days, and um, I refuse to shut up. You know, they keep telling me to go back across the border, go back to Mexico, and for me to shut up. You know, I have to respect and um, obey the president and all this BS. So, and it's been so relevant just recently, but I the reason I wanted to talk about this topic is because I was so much of a victim of racism when I was growing up. I grew up in a small town close to Abilene, um, predominantly white people, very redneck hick type, and they were the type that was like, "Look at here, you beaner, why don't y'all go back to Mexico and everything? We don't like your kind around these parts." And it's like, sorry, I'm 12 years old. I can't go back to Mexico, and I was born in Nebraska, so I can't leave. And my favorite part is when they always say, "Go back to where you came from," and I'm like, I was born in Nebraska, so I can't go back there. One, and it's not to me. It's not. I can't go back to somewhere that I've never lived. I was born in Nebraska. When my biological father passed away, I was 2 years old. And then my mom said, "Fuck that, we're going back to Texas." Oh, sorry about the cursing, you guys. I know a lot of people don't like me cursing. So, mom moved us back to San Antonio, and we spent a good time here. But then, I guess because the jobs were better over there in the small town close to Abilene, that there was more opportunities at the time. So we went and lived over there for about 7 years. Um, I would say from about 7 to 14, I got bullied, harassed. I got called every racial slur that you could possibly think of. Um, I thought it was funny because I never understood what spick was until I got older. Then I was like, oh, it's short for Hispanic. But these people, um, I always thought it was funny that I would make fun that they couldn't say the whole word Hispanic, so that's why they call you spick. Um, they called me greaser. I use tres flores, so technically I am a greaser. And you know, who grew up at the time that the Outsiders came out. The Outsiders were the greasers were the badasses. So yeah, I'm a greaser, bro. Um, so that I didn't mind. Um, Beaner, yeah, I eat beans. So sorry about that. Yeah, I'm a beaner. I love beans. Um, but the one I never liked or I took real offense to was they always called me wetback because one, I didn't swim across the border, and two, I wasn't even from Mexico. So like even now they keep calling me illegal, and I was like, how could I be illegal if I was born in Nebraska? So I got harassed a lot, you guys, like almost every day. The kids at school, there was only about three Mexicanos there, and unfortunately, one of them was I forgot the word. When you're in culture, when you're like, when you already you're so into the culture that he was like a part of them practically. They accepted him because he grew up with them and he had been there so long. So he never got attacked because technically he was one of them. Um, that was the one thing. There was another one, and he was Mexicano, but I guess with him it was different because he was Mexicano, and I was Chicano from here, and so we didn't really get along that well. Um, the only real friends that I had was one white boy that moved from another city, and he was not like them. He was not like narrow-minded racist like those white people. So we actually got along really well, and I thought it was cool because he was the only white dude in the whole freaking city that actually was my friend. But they only lived there for like a year and then they moved away. So, oh, I was all heartbroken. And no, that I know. I know not all white people are racist, and I've told a lot of people that before, that not all of I know not all white people are racist, but some people are, and those are the ones that you have to look out for, because for some reason a lot of the people that are racist are like really violent, and they're so, I don't know what the word, uh, passionate about their racism, that they will kick your ass and beat you up and kill you, just just because they're white and you're not. I don't know, understand that. I don't understand. I didn't take the psychology in school, you guys, but there was times that I was physically assaulted because they didn't like me, and they would tell me, go back to where you came from. So fast forward a few years, um, we finally moved back to San Antonio when I was 14 years old. I thought it was like God had finally answered my prayers. For 7 years I had been praying, please God, please God, please God, can I move back to San Antonio? I will be good, I promise. And God finally said, yes, your prayers have been answered. You can go back to the motherland. To me, San Antonio was the only place that I had really lived at, that had so many Chicanos. So for me, that was my dream place to be. I didn't want to be in a small hick town, and I even told myself, I promised myself, if I graduate from this pathetic place from high school, I will walk back to San Antonio if I have to. There's no way I'm fucking staying here. So sorry about the F bombs, you guys. It just what did they say? That it illustrates how ignorant I am because I use curse words. So luckily we moved back, and that was the only place that I really knew that had Chicanos the way we do. I've never lived anybody else, and here's a good example of how cool I always thought San Antonio was. When before we moved away, when I was like really young, grade school, like really young, you go to school, and what do you have for breakfast? They give you like breakfast tacos. I don't know about now, but back in the day, you would get breakfast tacos for breakfast. That is an actual breakfast. Then you move to a small white people town, and they have stuff like cereal, cold milk with dry cereal for breakfast. And to me, that was, you want to talk about culture shock. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? What am I supposed to do with this? You know? And even here in San Antonio, if you did get breakfast or cereal for breakfast, they at least gave you a banana with that. You know how, I don't know about you guys, but we used to always put the banana inside the cornflakes. Um, well, we have a Riverwalk. So finally got back to San Antonio, and I was like, oh, I'm back where I'm supposed to be with my people, my gente and stuff. So went to high school, and I was actually lucky because my freshman year in high school, I went to Fox Tech High School. Fox Tech was like so many different races, cultures, nationalities. It was like a melting pot high school. It was like so cool because we had like blacks, browns, whites, Asians, everything. It was so cool, and it wasn't like one race dominated everything. It was like so mixed in that it was like so awesome. For me, it was like so cool. Then sophomore year, we went back to the west side. Pura raza. I was like nothing but brown people there. I was like, oh, I felt like I was where I belonged, where I was meant to be. This is the place that I was meant to be with my raza. So I grew up with Chicanos, and that was still another culture shock, you guys. Because remember, I spent 7 years with a bunch of people that talk language and everything. Tell you what, looky here, Loopy, we don't like your kind. We don't like your greaser, spick, dirty, and I've even been called the N-word, N-word tap and everything. So you better go back to Mexico, boy. We're gonna hang you from the nearest tree, son bitch. Then I come back to San Antonio. It's like, órale, dog, ¿qué pasó, homeboy? ¿Qué onda? And I'm like, sure, that too, bro. So that was a culture shock too, because I was like so disconnected from these people, and I wanted to be connected. So that was one of my biggest challenges, is learning the language, learning the culture, and being accepted. Because I mean, they could tell, and they could tell that I was different. I mean, besides being smart, they could tell that I was different. I mean, I talked different, I acted different, everything was different about me, you know. So so then went to school, was smart. I mean, I've always been book smart, you guys. My mom beat the shit out of me if I didn't get good grades. I remember one time in third grade, I got like my first not good grade. She beat the shit out of me. Last time I ever got a bad grade. I've always been like book smart, school boy since then. So beating your kids works, you guys. Just FYI, beating your kids does work. um, that's remember what was the movie? Full Metal Jacket. Beating your ass is a good encouragement tool that works, you guys. So so went to school, blah blah blah. Grew up in San Antonio, and I always tell people from San Antonio, you guys will never know what racism is because you're around your own people. There may be some, there's very few because they're not stupid here. We outnumber them here. They're not stupid enough to be racist, but if they are racist, they're like cool about it. You know, they'll make stupid comments like, "Oh, I thought you worked here," stuff like that. You know, it's like, no, I'm a customer too. You know, um, recording for my podcast, you guys. So that's why I'm not interacting with you guys too much. Recording, actually, I'm recording, broadcasting live, TikTok live, Instagram live, talking about racism and my personal experience with racism. So few funny stories that I think it's funny. Now I can say that it's funny. Oh yeah, there's one more that I wanted to talk about. Um, I was talking about it the other day, or it may have even been last night when I was doing the live broadcast, that I was at the park and this white lady was like, amigo, 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 and I'm like, who the fuck is this bitch talking to? Amigo, amigo, amigo. And I'm like, yes. She says, hola, do you speak English? Now, no offense, you guys, but to me, that's not just ignorant, but that's a little bit racist. To assume that just because I'm brown that I don't speak English. This is the United States. What else do you want me to fucking speak? Je ne voulais français, je voulais espagnol. Biche? Yeah, oui, oui. Okay. Um, so that's one funny story. Oh yeah. So I used to work for a company, and we used to put in the headstones at the Fort Sam Houston Cemetery. And if you guys know what the Fort Sam Houston Cemetery is, that's with the Army. So that's where the veterans and active military get buried at. If you're from San Antonio. So our job was to put in the headstones. So we used to get our supplies from Lowe's down the street. There's a Lowe's right there on Austin Highway. And one morning, I'll never forget it. One morning we're there, and I was the supervisor, so I'm in charge, you know. So I'm the supervisor, and I had my guys there, and it's like, we need this, we need that, we need this, we need that, and we're like right there, right when it first opened up, like 7 o'clock in the morning, and we can't do our work without a supply, so we were like really, really early, and this white this white lady comes up to us, and she says, you know, out of nowhere, you guys, out of nowhere, you know, the president should let your people into this country. It's people like you that make this country as great as it is. No offense, you guys. I know she probably meant well, but that's very offensive. That's very offensive to say something like that. My people, I'm from here, first of all, and my people, like, what? The only thing that we can do is construction. I know that we do a lot of the construction work because white people won't do it, and we're willing to do the work. But there's some smart people, you guys. I dated a chick that was she was actually an illegal, and she went to college, and she actually became a teacher. That's pretty smart to do that. Just FYI, you guys. I'm trying, prima. Um, so then there was if you guys know anything about San Antonio, there's a funeral home downtown called Roy Acres. Roy Acres Funeral Home. One of the family members had passed away, and you see nothing but brown dudes outside. We're all just, you know, taking a smoke break. We're all outside. I used to smoke. I stopped in 2002. So we're all hanging out, smoking, just right there. This beautiful green Cadillac comes out, or pulls up. This old white lady comes up, and she says, "Excuse me, do any of y'all speak English?" And everybody's just looking at each other like, "What do you want us to speak?" I mean, we speak English and Spanish, but yeah, we speak English. It's like, to me, it's ignorant to just assume that just because we're brown, we can't speak English. It's like, what? Only white people can speak English? And then there's one more, you guys. Just one more story about my personal experiences here in San Antonio. Because, like I said, I've gotten to the point where I was beat up a lot for 7 years, so I know what racism looks like. You know how the funny people have the gaydar? I have the racism dar. So I was at so okay, so when I went to high school, I didn't know how it worked. I didn't know that you could go to junior college and then go to transfer to a university. I didn't know how it worked. I thought that you needed 100% of the money. So I didn't go to school right after high school. I kind of like took the long route. So after a few years, I actually wanted to go to Trinity because Trinity is like a good school, or supposedly. Um, so I actually went to the campus, and I was trying to get in, and I remember walking around on campus, and I see a family. It's a mom, dad, and a daughter of white people. They're walking on the same side of the sidewalk that I am, right? They're walking this way. A good 25, 30 feet. They cross the street. You're probably thinking, no big deal, right? No big deal, no big deal. Turn around. Yep, they cross the street back to my side of the sidewalk. Just saying, you guys. So the reason I wanted to talk about racism is because obviously after Trump became president, all the races said, our leader has arrived. It is safe to come out of the woodwork. One of the comedians was saying that I forgot who it was. I think it was Dave Chappelle. That now racists are like so vocal about their being racist. You know, they're so vocal about it. They don't hide it the way they used to. You know how back in the day you were like kind of like incognito racist, but you wouldn't be like so blunt and open about it the way they are now. And it's like, no, 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 no. It's not okay to be racist. Go back to hiding. Go back to being, ashamed about it and being private about it. No, now it's like, oh, it's okay to be racist. It's okay to be open about it. It's okay to shoot a person of color in the street in broad daylight that is unarmed, and 99% of the time you get away with it. Or if you do get arrested, it takes weeks and months for you to get arrested, and if you're a cop, you get away with it because you're a cop. And I mean, no offense, you guys, but a racist person with the license to carry a gun is a very dangerous person, especially when they have a badge. That's a very, very bad thing to have. So Trump being the president has made it okay for people to be racist, and they have been attacking people of color like more and more and more. I mean, don't take my word for it. Look at statistics. Hate crimes have gone up since he's been president. Attacks on people of color, deaths on people of color. I mean, just what was it 2 weeks ago? The poor black dude just running down the street trying to get exercise. I'm only able to get away with it because there's nothing but Mexicanos around here. They ain't gonna shoot me. They know I'm one of them. I mean, there's the whole racism thing between Mexicanos and Chicanos, but we don't kill each other, you know? Yeah, I don't like you because you're a pocho, but I'm not gonna kill you for it. Like I said, you guys, these people, they're so passionate about their racism, they will kill you for their beliefs. Don't think that they won't, because they will. And I remember back in late 90s, early 2000s, I used to work at UTSA, and this African American guy says, you you won't know somebody's true colors until they get mad at you. You will see how racist they are. And he says, I'll tell you one thing that's really, really important that you should know. Um, if it ever comes down to white people and people of color, white people will always pick their own kind. And it's not that something's wrong with it. Even if the person is wrong, they will still stick with their kind. That's why all these people are so adamant about supporting Trump. He's doing a horrible job. He's a bad president. I just saw a video on TikTok this morning. It was a white guy. He was a psychologist, and he was saying that Trump is not only the worst president in the history of mankind, but that he's got so many problems. I mean, how many psychiatrists and psychologists have gone on the media to say that he's got problems? Look at the way he acts. Howdy. Howdy, you guys. This is Lupe Alcides from San Antonio, Texas. I'm doing a broadcast, TikTok, Instagram Live. I'm also recording my podcast and broadcasting my podcast live, you guys. We're talking about racism, but we're talking about the things that I dealt with. I have never said that I hate white people. I have never said that I hate all white people. And like I said the other day, ask the white chicks that I dated if they think that I'm racist. So another reason that I wanted to talk about this topic specifically is because I have been attacked, and you guys know I have been attacked so much on TikTok. I have just a little, let's say I have about 3,500 followers. I don't want to call you followers because that sounds cult-ish. I'm not trying to be your leader. Ooh, you're my followers. You guys are my familia, like El Gordo said. Yeah, I'm afraid it does. But El Gordo said you guys are familia, so I don't consider you guys followers. I'm gonna call you familia. I have 34, 35-ish, 36-ish, 100, right? But over 12,000 people have viewed my profile. That means that over 9,000 people looked at my profile not to follow me, but to attack me. And I've had comments to say, "Hey, you can't generalize You can't generalize all the races together. You can't generalize all the races together. Okay, if I was to do a statistics thing and take count of every single comment that was being made, about 95% of those comments against me, well, no, I'll say about 90, because the Mexicanos are talking about me a lot now. About 90% of those comments have been by white men. Okay, the good 90% or so have been white men. A small percentage have actually been white women, and then the other 10%, I'd say about 8% have been well, I don't even know if I want to call them Mexicanos. They're brown and they have Hispanic sounding last names like Martinez and Lopez and Dominguez and Santos and stuff like that. I just like Hinojosa, Marco Hinojosa. He attacked me on TikTok, Instagram, and he texted me. I thought he was brown, but I can't call him raza because I mean he's not one of my people. I mean I've said it before, and it's like they're not my people. I'm not related to stupid. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's the thing. Our kids have to not just live in this environment, but they have to grow up in this hostile society. You know, that's another reason that it's so important, you guys, that we get rid of Trump, because then the racists will be like, okay, we can't be racist anymore. Plus, if we get somebody that's on our side, we can get people that will. We need change, you guys. Like I said before, and I'll say it again. We need change from the local government to the top, all the way from the local to the top. Everything has to change. If we change everything, then stuff like police have to change. We need to start getting more people of color to be police officers. You know what I mean, you guys? So I've been attacked so much, and my thing is like this is just proof um that not only is racism alive and well, but there's so many of them, you guys. There's so many, and like I said, they're so passionate about what they believe in that they get violent about it. They will go out of their way to be violent about it. I've had people threaten me on here, and I don't mean George Gomez telling me that he hopes I die. I've had people say stuff like, "If you don't shut your mouth, boy, something bad's gonna happen to you." To you what? Well, I live on the west side, sir. So come on, bring it. Shoot, I don't scare easily. Nah, I mean, I'm just saying, you guys. And I know that we're all raised with this mentality that we're the best, right? We're the best. Our race is the best. Our people are the best. And that's okay. But we also need to understand that, excuse me, not only are we the only race and culture in this world, we have to get along with each other. I mean, technically, God made us this way. God made us different. God said, "No, these MFers are getting along too well. Look at that tower. They're getting close to me. Pass. Talk different, look different, act different." Just because your founding fathers came here and killed a lot of people doesn't mean that you're better than anybody. And don't take my word for it. Look it up. There's a thing where even poor white people think that they're better than rich people of color because of their skin color. And I don't know why they feel the need to attack us, but it happens, you guys. It happens. That's why now I've started telling people, be safe, take care of yourself, and protect yourself. I mean, I'm not worried about it because I live in a place like San Antonio, and I mean, I don't think they'd be stupid enough to mess with me here. And my neighbors I mean, they're all brown, so they're not gonna really mess with me just to mess with me. Yeah, and that's the thing too, is that, like I said, somebody that has the license to carry a gun and wears a badge, these people are so dangerous, you guys. These people are so dangerous. I've seen people get harassed for no reason. Every time I go to the park, they're always harassing the homeless. They're always harassing the homeless. There's always somebody getting harassed at the park, and it's like, really, dude, you have nothing better to do with your time? Is that like a new city mandate? Mess with people that are at the park because they don't want nobody at the park? It's like, if homeless had a place to go, they wouldn't be homeless. They'd be home full. That's why they're here, because they don't have anywhere to go. Why do you have to bother them? Well, I don't know about all the same, because I think I'm a little bit special. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing. So for some people, it's so hard to accept the fact that we were all created by the same God. The Bible says that we were created in His image. So apparently, that's the way He sees us, or like some people interpret it, that's the way He sees Himself. You know, that's what His own image means, or supposed to mean. So then there's the whole things. I don't know why some people think that just because we're different races and ethnicities that we don't have the same God. I mean, yeah, there's Buddha and stuff like that, but I believe in God. I actually believe in the white people's God, because that's how I was raised. And like I said the other day, I've gone through so much shit that I honestly, personally believe that, because, but by the grace of God, here am I. That I'm only here because of His intervention, supporting me, loving me, and all that stuff. Know what I mean? So unfortunately, racism is alive. It's thriving, you guys. It's thriving. It's thriving. That's why I tell you guys when I do my live broadcast, if you don't believe me, just look at the comments that they leave. Go back to Mexico, climb back over the wall. I've been told that I look like a African one, and what was the other one? Um, I forgot what the other one was. Like a Middle Eastern country. They make comments like that, and then you're gonna sit there and tell me that it's not racist. Build the wall, build the wall, build the wall. That's not a racist comment. It's not. It's not people of color that he's against. He's against illegals. Okay, so why are you MFers telling me to go back? And why are you MFers telling me build the wall? And why are you MFers telling me if you don't like it, y'all can leave this country and everything? Just like you came over here, you can go back to Nebraska. And like I said, you guys, it really doesn't make any sense what they say, you know? Um, you don't like it, leave. Why do I have to leave just because I choose to voice my opinion? Shouldn't you the one that be shouldn't you be the one that should be leaving? Since you don't want people to have their rights and to practice their rights, shouldn't you be the one that's leaving? Because I like the fact that we have rights. I like that one of my rights is freedom of speech, and I love the fact that one of my rights is freedom of expression. I love the fact that I can say whatever I want, as long as I'm not threatening anybody or being violent to anybody. And just FYI, Mr. Trump supporters or Mr.'s Trump supporters, Mr. Leave this country, that's actually called a terroristic threat. When you sit there and tell me some of the things that you guys have told me, those are actually considered terrorist threats. Like I said, I'm not stupid. I know a little bit. I know a thing or two about a thing or two. Tell you what. Oh, one lady said, y'all can't use that voice and everything. When you talk like that, that's racist. One, why is it that when you do and say stuff, that's not racist, but when I do and say stuff, it's automatically racist? I'm racist because I don't like Trump. I'm racist because I use a southern accent. And just in case a lot of people don't know, I know that I'm not a geography major, and a lot of people didn't take geography. Texas is part of the South, y'all. One, that's why we say y'all, because we from the South and everything. And actually, all those people that were beating me up and everything, that's how they talk and everything. Tell you what. So I can't talk like that, because I grew up with them folks and everything. Tell you what. Yeah. And then there's that. There's that. There's that. Why Mexicanos are attacking me, I don't understand. Especially, I've had Mexicanos telling me to leave. Talk about wannabe white coconut idiots. But I've said it before and some of my broadcasts, but I'll say it again. If you wanna know the real history, go down to the valley and ask them about the land and how all those white people got the land and how they stole that land from Mexicanos. Look at what's the movie with Tombstone? Tombstone. They shed very very little light on it at the beginning, but that's how it happened. They bullied the Mexicanos off of the land. What's the one with Penelope Cruz and Salma Hayek? Just like that. They would lie about having land rights to these land and everything. Where are your papers to this land? We don't need papers. We have been here for centuries. This is my land. This is our land. I don't need a piece of paper that says it belongs to me. Well, I got one and everything, so y'all gonna have to go. So because they want to be evil tricksters, that makes them better than us? I don't know, you guys. I think it's just not just sad, but scary. And a lot of these people keep telling me that yeah, brown on the outside, white on the inside, that's a coconut. They keep telling me that Spanish land grants. Um I forgot what I was saying. Totally lost my train of thought. Yeah, it's scary that not only are there so many racist people, but that they're so violent about it. I mean, like seriously, they're so violent. I can deal with the name calling. It doesn't bother me. Like I said, I made a video earlier saying, come up with something more original because I've heard the same stuff over and over. You guys are just saying the same stuff over and over. You can't make up anything substantial, so you attack my physical appearance. That doesn't faze me none. I'm not weak where if you say that I have crooked teeth, that it's gonna like crush my ego and I'm gonna go into hiding. It's not. Sorry, but it's not. Um, it doesn't faze me none. But the fact that they go out of their way to harass me, it only sheds the light on the fact that I'm probably not the only one that they're attacking and harassing. That's what's really scary. Is that, like I said, they are so passionate about their views that they will do stuff. They're gonna do stuff. If they see a black man running down the street, they're gonna shoot him. I was reading a story about some professor was walking down the street and the cops were harassing him out of nowhere. I've been harassed. Even here, I was when I first started going to San Antonio College. I was downtown. Back then, I didn't have a car, so I was downtown. And yes, it's okay to not have a car. Somebody made a comment about you're a loser because you don't have a car, and I don't know. I don't see how it makes me a loser for not having a car. But when I went back to school, And well, when I started San Antonio College, I was catching the bus downtown Travis Park. And this is the thing, you guys. I was working on the east side. I would walk all the way to um, Travis Park because if I waited for the bus would take long and I would miss class or I would be late to class. And I've always been so um, stubborn that I always want to be early or on time. I don't like being late, especially when it comes to school or college. So I didn't want to be late. I always made an effort to be early or on time to my class. So I would walk to the bus stop. So I would walk to Travis Park. I had my backpack. This is the thing, you guys. I had my backpack. I'm at the bus stop, and I see a car full of cops drive by, and I'm sorry, but I'm me. I give him that look. What the fuck you looking at? Right? So I'm like, the fuck you looking at? Bitch. So, um, they go around. They go around. It's Travis Park is a square, so they go around like that, and they come back to me, and it's, come here. Here we go. I always gotta be harassing the brown guy. I mean, I know I look like a badass, but I mean, really, where are you going? No, where are you coming from? Work? Where are you going? School? What do you got in the bag? My books? I just said I was going to school. Well, the reason we're harassing you is because you fit the description. And like I said, you guys, I'm not stupid. I'm not. I'm listening to the radio. Yes, the suspect had shoulder length hair and he's wearing a blue shirt, blue collared shirt, blah 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 blah. Does that go to my collar? And I usually have my hair shorter than this. I just haven't been able to cut my hair since the pandemic and everything. Plus, these don't have collars. This is a t-shirt. T-shirts don't have collars. So that yeah, it's like cops um cops that are racist are even more dangerous, you guys, because I mean they have the permit to kill. And a lot of times they know that it's your word against mine. And I've always had a thing with cops because even in high school, they would harass us every time they saw us anywhere in the street. And one time we had half day passes, right? So that means that you can leave school after lunch. So we would go places, we would do stuff, right? And the cop, woo, of course, they have to harass us. So we stop and I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And the idiot finally gets mad and is like, yeah, what? You don't think I deserve your respect? I'm like, just because you're a cop? No. I mean, you're harassing us. So, no. I mean, you already lost it right there. And we showed you our passes and you're still harassing us. No, I don't respect you. And that's what I say to the idiots that insist on I have to respect Trump. I do not have to respect any fucking body if I don't want to. One, I have the right to freedom of expression. That means I can express myself however I want to. If you don't understand what freedom of expression is, look it up. Look up each word. Freedom, look up the word of, look up the word expression. Freedom of expression means that you can say anything critical of somebody else as long as you're not making a threat to that person. So if I want to say that my government sucks, if I want to say that I don't like my government, if I want to say that I hate living in this country, I can say that. And no, I don't have to leave. I don't. I don't. Especially when I'm so stubborn that I'm gonna stay the more you keep telling me to leave. But they keep telling me that I have to respect Trump. Even like the veterans is like, did you ever serve? Well, then you have to respect them. No, I don't. Even when I was in the service, I didn't have to respect the president. I mean, I respected him because it was Clinton. So no, I don't. Why do I have to respect somebody that has not earned my respect? Like I've said before, I am from the hood. I do not have to respect you until you show me that you earned my respect. And my favorite part, you guys, is um, I don't tell people that I'm educated because I'm trying to impress you or that I'm trying to like whatever. I say it because I'm proud of that shit, man. Every time somebody tells me you think you're bad because blah blah blah, you think you're bad because you got tattoos. No, I actually think I'm bad because I have 3 degrees. That's just me. That's just the way I am. I worked for that shit. I earned that shit. So yeah, I think I'm bad because I have 3 degrees. I don't think I'm bad because I'm Chicano. I don't think I'm bad because I'm from the West Side. I don't think I'm bad because I'm from the baddest fucking neighborhood in fucking town, in probably Texas. You ask people about my hood and they'll be like, oh shit. Everywhere I go, it's like, where are you from? I'm from Las Colonias. It's like, whoa, órale, bro, mucho respeto. I don't even say that because I think I'm a badass. I say I got 3 degrees. That's why I think I'm a badass. Sorry. Sorry to disappoint you. Yeah, and then this, I think it's just so funny that people are so insistent to make assumptions based on the way I look. You don't know me. You don't know anything about me. You're not even taking the time to get to know me. I've even given them the effort, right? I'll make an effort. I'll let them talk. I'll let them say what they want. And why do you hate me? The one guy said, "You're a low life dirtbag." Okay, why do you feel that way? Because you don't like the president. Do you realize how ignorant you just made yourself sound? That's like calling somebody a dumbass because they don't like Cheetos. You don't like Cheetos, you're a fucking dumbass, dude. What do you eat? Doritos? That's más puto. So, just for the record, I went to the University of Texas in San Antonio for my undergrad. I have a bachelor's in Mexican American Studies. I have a bachelor's in English. Then I went to the Texas A&M University in San Antonio on the south side, and I got my master's in English. I don't say that to impress anybody. I don't have to impress anybody. The point is that I'm a little bit educated. I'm not just some stupid idiot off the street. And some idiot even had the nerve to say, they obviously didn't teach you no critical thinking skills in college and everything. Actually, that's the first thing that they teach you. That's the first thing that they teach you. Like I've said before, you try to write a paper, right? I was an English major, so you try to write a paper. So this book is about this book is about that, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's like, okay, what is this? It's a summary. It's like, okay, I'm not asking for a summary. I'm asking for, for you to critique that paper. Tell me what it's, the book, tell me what it's about. You have to, like, analyze it, you guys. You have to critically analyze what the text says. What does it encompass? What is the author trying to say? And even if that's not what the author was trying to say, you can make a claim that this is what the author tried to say. And then if you back it up with enough research, you've proved your point. Even if that's not what the whole point was. But if you back it up with enough evidence, you can sell it. And that's actually what critical thinking is, that you have to say, okay, so this is what the text says. What was the author trying to say? And then you have to go and look for articles based on either that book itself or what other authors said about that topic, the text, keywords that you're trying to use. I totally forgot to turn on the music, you guys, because I was focusing on doing my podcast, so I forgot about the music. Um, so if anything, the only reason I bring up my education is because I'm educated, and I was taught that when you go to school, that means that you're educated. So it's funny to see a lot of people tell me that I'm stupid and that I'm not smart. Having a degree don't make you smart, boy. Actually, I thought it did. So that's where I stand, and I choose to defend my position on that. So, with that being said, you guys, I can't think of anything else to say about the racism part. I'm going to sign off for the podcast. Thank you for the few individuals who did tune in to the live broadcast of my podcast. They got to find a way to like combine those two words together. Um, for those of you who are tuned in to my podcast, um, no, I haven't, Bruce. I have not met a smart teacher, but according to the experts, being college educated means that you do have somewhat of an education. It kind of makes you smart. So, with that being said, you guys, I want to thank you for joining me and putting in your opinions and comments and stuff. Um, my name is Lupe Alcides. I am a Chicano from San Antonio, Texas. So, thank you. And this was my podcast on racism. You are more than welcome to voice your comments and opinions. And I welcome all the Trump supporters to come listen to my podcast, the Lupe Alcides podcast. Just like you're helping me on TikTok, come help me on my podcast. Um, God bless each and every one of you. Stay safe, protect yourselves and each other, you guys. Spread love and positivity always.